Hello guys, I'm John, I'm the Geeky Fanboy, and welcome back. Today we are reviewing the new SpongeBob film. It's Sponge on the Run. It's the third film for the big cartoon series. I know it's not out in every country, so I guess the American people still have to wait a couple of months, but uh, it's out on Netflix for a lot of other countries. I was able to watch it, and if you couldn't tell already, I'm a huge SpongeBob fan. I recently just did like a little casual let's play of the new SpongeBob Rehydrated game, which was a lot of fun, and brought back a lot of nostalgia and memories. And yeah, the show has been a big part of my childhood. Basically from the age of 5 to 14, there was nothing else for me. SpongeBob was the only thing that existed for me media-wise. And I'm still a huge fan of the show. It has remained one of my, beloved nostalgic childhood things that I still like to occasionally watch. And I'm also caught up with all of the newer episodes. I watched, like seasons 10 to 12 now throughout the summers, and quarantine gives you a lot of free time, so might as well watch some SpongeBob episodes. And I was super excited to finally be able to watch the new film. I'm gonna keep it as spoiler free as possible. If I should get into minor spoilers, don't worry, I'll give you a warning beforehand. But for now, let's jump straight in. So, what is the new film about? The new SpongeBob film, Sponge on the Run, is about Gary going missing and SpongeBob and Patrick going on a big road trip to find him. So, Gary has been kidnapped by King Poseidon, and he's been brought to the lost city of Atlantic City. And yes, that's how they actually always say it in the film, which I think is quite fun. And yeah, SpongeBob and Patrick go on this big road trip. All the while in Bikini Bottom, things are going awry, especially in the Krusty Krab. And, the usual gang, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Sandy, and even Plankton, all kind of get involved to figure out, okay, what's actually happening, what happened to SpongeBob, can we help him in any way? And yeah, that's the basic story of the film. We got the usual gang. We also have a couple of celebrity appearances. We also saw Keanu Reeves in the trailers. He does actually quite a funny thing in this film. We also have a couple of other celebrity appearances, which I don't want to spoil. Some of them were quite surprising, but in a positive way. So, yeah. So, first up, let's talk about that new animation style. So, the animation style in this film is quite different from what we see in the show. The show does, the classic 2D animation, as you know. And in the film, we have this 3D animation, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I was a bit worried going in that it might not go as well with the usual humor and animation style that we are used to from the SpongeBob series, but honestly the film looks really great. The animation looks polished, it looks fun, it looks clean, it just looks very, very pleasant. And I know a couple of people have been complaining about Sandy looks really weird since she has fur, because she's a squirrel. And I guess some people thought that looked weird in this new animation style, but honestly, it really doesn't. Sandy looks like really adorable and fluffy, I thought. So there's that. Just in general, everyone looks super adorable and cute in this film. In general, I think the animation style works quite well for these kinds of characters and for the kind of humor that we're used to from the cartoon. But, just the textures look really great. Also, like when you just look at the clothes, like SpongeBob's trousers or something, you can really tell that this is meant to be like fabric and everything. There's just a lot of attention to detail, which I like. And it's just, yeah, the cuteness is is amazing. You just take one look at Gary and you go like, oh my god, this is the sweetest and purest thing I've ever seen in my life. Which works especially well when we have like flashback scenes, which were also in the trailer, so no real spoiler there. So we get like flashback scenes throughout the film where we see SpongeBob at Camp Coral, and we see most of our main characters as kids, and they are the cutest creatures you have ever seen in your entire life. They are adorable, big eyes, big bodies, and it's just, I can't express how amazingly adorable it is. If you looked at Gary and thought Gary was already looking adorable, then you take a look at baby Gary and you just want to die from sweetness. Especially for some reason, I really like Patrick as a baby. He's just so, like, a round boy. And I don't know why, but it really got to me. Squidward also looks really cute. He has a bit of a nerdy style going on. It's just really, really cute. So yeah, the animation, no problem there. It looks really, really good. It's a 3D animation for most of the film. We do also have live action. The live action itself is shot in a okay, entertaining way, so that's not the problem. I guess the most like live action stuff we see is Keanu Reeves, who plays the Sage. So it's basically just Keanu Reeves' head put into the SpongeBob story in animation, which might be a little off-putting at first, but I think it works surprisingly well. I also like the Sage's, his character. And Keanu Reeves just is basically doing his shtick. He does Keanu Reeves. He's a sage, so he's like the guardian of SpongeBob and Patrick as they go on this journey. And they have some cute interactions throughout the film that I really, really enjoyed. And Keanu Reeves had, as always, a fantastic performance. But going back to the live action stuff, there is, as we're coming, I'm also going to mention this in the story, there is like a longer live action sequence in the middle of the film, which is, granted, looks okay. Like, it looks nice. It has a sort of Wild West cowboy setting. The actors that appear in there are fun. We get a little dance number, which is well choreographed from what I can tell. So, in regards to that, it looks okay, but how it plays out in the film, I'm gonna come back to. So, and this brings us to the story of the film. So, I checked out just like a couple of reviews before doing mine, just so you know what the general opinion seems to be. And there seem to be a couple of people who really didn't like the story of the film. Because it really only feels like an extended SpongeBob episode. I mean, I already gave you the synopsis. It's really just that, and granted, it's maybe not even the newest idea. We already had this thing of Gary is going missing and SpongeBob is looking for him. And it's nothing new. So now it really does feel a bit like an extended SpongeBob episode, which I honestly really don't mind, because that is why I'm watching a SpongeBob film. I'm watching a SpongeBob film because I want to get like a fun, extended version of the cartoon I like, and I think this is what the film does. It's just a fun little road trip with SpongeBob and Patrick, and the rest of the gang doing their own thing, trying to figure out how they can help. And I think it works really well. Some people said that it takes a bit too long at times, and there are some moments that just go on for too long, which, I can kind of understand, especially like in the first half of the film. Maybe there are some jokes that just go on for a bit too long, some scenes that feel a bit too long. But overall, I think the pacing of the film works quite well. Like I said, the only thing I had a problem with was that we get like this live action sequence at some point in the film, and it's the only thing that for me felt a bit out of place. I'm not gonna tell you what exactly happens, how it happens, or, who's involved, but there is a live action sequence that goes on for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something in the middle of the film, and it does feel quite out of place. Like I said, in general, it's well shot and well acted, but the way it's put into the film and the context of everything, it doesn't work, because the tone of the sequence is far too different from what else is going on in the film, and it just feels very disconnected from the rest that is going on. So you have those like 10 minutes in between where you're sitting there feeling, okay, I'm looking at SpongeBob and Patrick, but this doesn't really feel like I'm watching SpongeBob the movie right now. So apart from that, I think the rest of the film works really well. I especially like when SpongeBob and Patrick finally managed to get to Atlantic City. I like the designs. I mean, we saw it in the trailer. It's like this Las Vegas kind of undersea city where King Poseidon lives. And I like the design, even though, you know, you might say it's just, you know, your general casino Las Vegas thing, but I think it works really well, and the sequences in there are, at least that's what I thought, are quite funny when SpongeBob and Patrick, again, you saw this in the trailer, just like go on a bender. I thought it was really fun. There's some really cool and fun and funny moments in there. Regarding the humor, I think there was a lot to laugh at in this film. Maybe it wasn't like you're laughing out loud at everything that's happening in this film. That's not the kind of humor that happened here. Granted, I had like 2 or 3 moments where I really did laugh out loud at some of the jokes, but to me, it felt like it's your casual early SpongeBob humor where you have a lot of in-jokes, something you might not understand as a kid, but you understand it as an adult and you chuckle. And in general, I think the humor is very casual. There's a lot of stuff where you can really just smile and chuckle at and just makes you a bit happy, which I think is fine. Like, I don't really need this vast amount of big jokes that make me laugh out loud all the time. I honestly don't need that. So in that regard, I think the film works quite well, and there are so many in-jokes. Like, if like me, you've been watching the show since the beginning, you will find so many like nice little details in the design, in the dialogue, and in the humor, that if you pick up on this, you're gonna have so much fun. Like, as an example, that's early on in the film, when we see Plankton for the first time in the story. There's like this big wall behind him where you see frames of all the times he tried to steal the Krabby Patty formula, and you can tell that it's like a picture from each episode Plankton was in and tried to steal the Krabby Patty formula. Like, there are pictures in there from the very first episode, you know, when he tried to take over SpongeBob's brain. There is even a picture in there from the first film with, you know, the chump bucket helmet. So I like those little in-jokes that are happening. You also have some, you know, repetition of famous lines that you know from other SpongeBob episodes, so they are just kind of, you know, those best of thingies. The film doesn't rely on those, mind you. That's important to say. The film does reuse some old stuff from the show and from the previous movies, but this new story does not rely on it. The story is something entirely new. It's something different. They're doing their own thing. It's just that you sometimes have those occasional moments where you either have like a bit of a callback or you have a direct reuse of something we already know. But I think that works quite well, since also, I guess the film also sort of serves as, you know, looking back at what's at what has been going on in Bikini Bottom, and it's, like I said, it's just your fun, casual SpongeBob adventure. Like, don't expect anything too big. It's not like your big, grand, action-heavy adventure. I mean, it's SpongeBob. Like, what do you expect? You just sit back, relax, maybe switch your brain off for 90 minutes, and enjoy watching this little yellow guy trying to find his pet. So in that regard, I can honestly say I really, really enjoyed the third film. I don't even really want to compare it to the first or the second one because I like both of those. So I can say if you're a SpongeBob fan, if you're a kid, if you're an adult, I think you will find something to love in this film. Like I said, don't expect anything too serious or too big. Like, just have a sit down. It's a casual thing. It's funny, and I think you're gonna have a good time with it. So that's it for my review of the new SpongeBob film. Do tell me down in the comments below if you've already seen the new film. What were your thoughts on it? Do tell me down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done it already, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.